Close your eyes for 1 second and feel how hard you are trying. Feel the tension in your chest, the pressure in your mind, the silent begging you keep sending into the unseen. Now listen carefully, because this single effort, this constant pushing, is the very thing delaying everything you want. You are not failing because the universe is against you. You are failing because you are gripping life with clenched fists when it only responds to open hands. You were never meant to chase, force, convince, or suffer for your desires. You were meant to assume, to relax, to know. The universe does not move when you strain your voice. It moves when your inner state becomes calm, settled, and certain. The moment you relax, reality begins rearranging itself without asking your permission. Look at how creation works. The sun does not strain to shine. The ocean does not struggle to wave. A seed does not scream underground demanding growth. Everything that exists moves effortlessly in obedience to an inner law. And you, who are conscious of being, think you must exhaust yourself to receive. That belief alone is the silent weight pressing against your life. Your problem is not lack of effort. It is excess effort in the wrong direction. You keep trying to change the world before you change your state. You keep demanding proof before you allow yourself peace. You keep waiting for signs instead of becoming the sign. The universe responds to who you are being, not to what you are asking. Words spoken from desperation carry no authority. Thoughts repeated with anxiety have no creative power, but a quiet inner knowing, a relaxed acceptance that something is already yours, commands reality without noise. When you stop interfering, life starts cooperating. Think of a moment when you least expected something good and it arrived easily. No struggle, no overthinking, no obsession. That was not luck. That was alignment. That was you being relaxed enough to allow what was already prepared to reach you. You were taught that effort equals reward, that struggle builds worth, that suffering makes success meaningful. But the universe does not work on human morality. It works on resonance. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you quietly accept as true. If you assume struggle is necessary, struggle becomes loyal to you. If you assume delay is normal, delay becomes your companion. But the moment you internally decide that ease is allowed, that things can move smoothly, that results can come naturally, the world begins to mirror that assumption. Relaxation is not laziness. It is confidence without noise. To relax is to trust that what you have impressed upon yourself cannot be denied. To relax is to stop checking, stop measuring time, stop asking when and how. The universe already knows how. Your only task is to stop interrupting. You do not manifest by forcing thought. You manifest by dwelling in a feeling of naturalness, the state where your desire feels ordinary, expected, obvious. The state where you no longer emotionally reach for it, because internally you already possess it. Notice how calm you feel about things you already have. You don't affirm them. You don't visualize them. You don't worry about losing them every second. That calmness is the exact atmosphere in which creation happens. The universe is not testing you. It is responding to you with precision. Every time you feel urgency, you silently declare lack. Every time you feel calm certainty, you silently declare fulfillment. And fulfillment always moves faster than desperation. You don't need to control thoughts. You need to occupy a state. You don't need to convince the universe. You need to agree with it. Imagine ordering food at a restaurant and then standing in the kitchen telling the chef how to cook, checking every minute, doubting if it will arrive. That is how you treat your desires. You place the order, then you refuse to sit down. Sit down. Relax your inner posture. Let your mind rest in the assumption that what is desired is already arranged, not hoped for, not requested. Arranged. The universe does not respond to neediness because neediness implies absence. It responds to identity. When you internally shift from I want to I am, movement becomes automatic. You were never meant to fight reality into submission. Reality is already obedient. It only waits for your inner command, and your inner command is always issued through feeling, not force. When you relax, you step out of time. Waiting disappears because waiting belongs to doubt. In certainty, there is no waiting, only unfolding. Let go of the belief that you must be ready. Let go of the belief that you must heal more, learn more, suffer more, prove more. Those are delays disguised as preparation. You are ready the moment you assume you are. The universe does not ask for perfection. It asks for acceptance. Accept the version of yourself who already lives the life you desire. Accept it quietly, without excitement, without fear, without obsession, just as a fact, just as something normal. Do not look for confirmation outside. Confirmation follows assumption, not the other way around. The mirror does not smile first. You do. Relaxing does not mean you stop acting. It means your actions come from calm certainty instead of panic. It means you move naturally, without inner resistance, without emotional pressure. The greatest manifestations occur when you are mentally absent from trying, when you are so at peace with the idea of having that you forget to chase it. You don't need to fight your doubts. You need to stop giving them importance. Doubt only survives on attention. Relaxation starves it. When you feel yourself tightening, remind yourself, the universe has never failed to respond to a settled state. Not once. It has only delayed responses to conflicted states. You are not here to wrestle life. You are here to select states. Choose the state of fulfillment and remain there without effort. Let your mind rest in the feeling that things are working out, even when you don't see how, especially when you don't see how. Reality is shaped in silence. The quieter your inner world becomes, the louder the universe responds. The moment you truly understand this, you stop negotiating with life. You stop asking for permission to receive. You stop standing outside your own door wondering when it will open, because you finally realize you were holding the key the entire time. Relaxation is not something you do with the body alone. It is a decision of identity. It is the silent agreement that you are no longer someone who waits, but someone who expects. Expectation is quiet. It does not shout. It does not beg. It does not check every hour. It simply knows. You have been trained to believe that intensity equals power, that emotional force pushes reality into motion. But intensity without alignment only creates exhaustion. Power comes from inner stillness. A calm assumption carries more authority than 1,000 frantic affirmations. When the mind settles, it stops sending mixed signals. The universe responds instantly to clarity. Look honestly at your inner conversations. Notice how often you rehearse disappointment before it happens. Notice how naturally you imagine things going wrong. Those imaginal acts feel real to you, and because they feel real, they externalize. The universe is not judging you for this. It is faithfully following your lead. Now imagine what happens when you reverse this habit. When you gently, without effort, allow your mind to rest in scenes that imply fulfillment, not dramatic scenes. Simple ones, ordinary moments that would only occur if your desire were already a fact. The feeling of ease, the absence of urgency, the quiet confidence of someone who knows. That is the state that creates. You do not need to repeat it all day. You do not need to strain to maintain it. Once impressed, it begins its work on its own. Your job is to not contradict it with fear, and the easiest way to stop contradicting is to relax. When you relax, you stop arguing with life. You stop telling the universe that it must hurry. You stop reminding yourself of time. Time belongs to the surface mind. Creation happens beneath it. There is a reason why things arrive when you give up trying. It is not because you surrendered your desire. It is because you surrendered resistance. Desire itself is not the problem. Attachment to effort is. You think holding on tighter will make it come faster. In reality, holding on is what signals absence. Letting go is not forgetting. Letting go is trusting the process you already initiated. You are not waiting for your manifestation. It is waiting for you to stop interfering. Every desire is already complete in another dimension of consciousness. It does not need your help to exist. It needs your permission to appear. Permission is granted through acceptance, not through force. Acceptance feels like relief. It feels like off course. It feels like neutrality. That neutral calm is the womb of creation. When you are relaxed, your mind becomes receptive. When you are receptive, impressions sink deeper. When impressions sink deeper, they harden into fact. This is why sleep is powerful. This is why moments of deep calm are creative. The conscious mind steps aside, and the inner world takes control. You are at your most powerful when you are least tense. Stop trying to visualize perfectly. Stop correcting every thought. Stop measuring your progress. These habits come from fear, not faith. Faith is not emotional excitement. Faith is inner rest. The universe does not need reminders. It does not forget. Once an assumption is accepted, it moves inevitably toward expression. The only thing that can delay it is your return to doubt. A doubt is not dangerous. Attachment to doubt is. If a fearful thought arises, do not fight it. Fighting gives it importance. Simply return to the feeling of being settled, like returning to a familiar room, like sinking into a chair you know supports you. You are allowed to feel safe even before proof appears. Safety does not come from evidence. Evidence comes from safety. The moment you stop looking for signs, signs multiply. The moment you stop checking progress, progress accelerates. The moment you stop worrying about how, the how organizes itself. Life is not random. It is responsive. You were never meant to micromanage creation. You were meant to choose a state and live from it. The state does the work. The state attracts the conditions. The state arranges the people, timing, and opportunities without effort. Your only discipline is returning to ease. Ease does not mean passivity. It means alignment without friction. Action taken from ease feels natural, unforced, obvious. Action taken from fear feels heavy, rushed, desperate. You will know you are aligned when your desire no longer feels distant, when thinking of it does not spike your emotions, when it feels normal. Normal is powerful. Anything that feels extraordinary feels distant. Anything that feels ordinary feels near. This is why the wealthy feel money is normal. This is why confident people feel success is expected. They are relaxed about it. Their lack of emotional charge keeps it flowing. You do not get what you emotionally chase. You get what you emotionally settle into. Settle into the idea that life is supporting you, not testing you, not punishing you, supporting you. The universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your self-concept. Who you believe you are decides what you allow. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, life gives you problems to solve. If you see yourself as someone who receives easily, life brings opportunities naturally. This is not arrogance. It is alignment with your true nature. You are not designed to live in constant tension. Tension is a learned habit, not a requirement. The body tightens when the mind resists. Release the resistance, and the body follows. Relax your breath. Relax your inner dialogue. Relax your need to control outcomes. Control is an illusion born from fear. Trust is power born from understanding. Understanding that imagination is reality's blueprint. Understanding that what you consistently feel to be true must appear. Understanding that effort does not speed up creation. Clarity does. Clarity comes when you stop arguing internally. Every time you choose calm over panic, you shift timelines. Every time you choose trust over fear, you move closer. Every time you rest in certainty, you allow acceleration. Acceleration feels slow at first because the mind expects drama, but creation prefers silence. You will notice that when you are relaxed, people treat you differently. Opportunities appear unexpectedly. Problems resolve without struggle. These are not coincidences. These are reflections of your inner order. Inner order creates outer order. Do not wait to relax until everything is fixed. Relax now, and things begin fixing themselves. Peace is not the reward. Peace is the method. The universe listens best when you are quiet inside. Quiet does not mean empty. It means full without noise. You are not here to impress the universe with effort. You are here to impress yourself with trust. Trust that what you accept must materialize. Trust that what feels natural must become visible. Trust that what you claim internally cannot be denied externally. Relaxation is your permission slip. The moment you stop trying to force the river, it carries you. The moment you stop swimming against the current, you realize it was always moving in your favor. Let life prove itself to you. But first, stop resisting the proof. Remain calm, remain certain, remain inwardly satisfied. Everything else will follow. When you finally see this, something inside you loosens. The constant inner pressure fades, and for the first time you realize how much energy you were wasting by trying to make life obey you, instead of allowing life to respond to you. You were not meant to carry the weight of outcomes. Outcomes are not your responsibility. States are. A state is simply a way of being. It is the atmosphere you live in mentally. It is the tone of your inner voice. It is the expectation you fall asleep with and wake up carrying. And that state, whether you notice it or not, is broadcasting continuously. You do not turn manifestation on and off. You are always manifesting. The only question is from which state. Most people live in a state of anticipation mixed with fear. They want, but they don't expect. They hope, but they doubt. They imagine, but they cancel it immediately with logic. And then they wonder why reality feels slow, heavy, unresponsive. Reality is not slow. It is precise. It mirrors the dominant assumption you relax into. Not the one you shout, but the one you return to when no one is watching. The one you feel is realistic. The one you quietly believe is possible for you. If you assume life is hard, ease feels suspicious. If you assume things take time, speed feels unrealistic. If you assume you must struggle, relaxation feels irresponsible. These assumptions are not facts, they are habits. And habits can be replaced. You replace them not by fighting, but by outgrowing them. The moment you see that tension has never protected you, that worry has never accelerated results, that overthinking has never produced clarity, you naturally let them go. You don't need to be told to relax. Once you understand that tension is useless. Notice how the mind tightens when you think you might lose something. That tightening is the belief that you are separate from your desire. But separation is an illusion created by thought. In consciousness, there is no distance. What you can imagine and accept as real already exists. Distance is a feeling, not a fact. The universe does not deliver things from far away. It reveals what you have already agreed to internally. That is why the shift always feels sudden on the outside, even though it was gradual on the inside. You don't manifest in the future. You manifest from the present state. When you keep saying, "It will happen," you place it ahead of you. When you internally feel, "Is done," you collapse time. This is not positive thinking. This is positional thinking. Where are you standing mentally? Inside fulfillment or outside waiting? Waiting is a state. Fulfillment is a state. One produces delay. The other produces movement. You don't have to pretend. Pretending creates resistance. You simply allow yourself to feel what you would feel if this were settled. Calm, relief, neutral confidence. Relief is powerful because it signals completion. The body relaxes when something is resolved. The mind quiets when something is decided. That quietness is the creative command. This is why people experience breakthroughs after they give up emotionally. They didn't give up desire. They gave up resistance. They stopped needing it to prove their worth. They stopped measuring their happiness against it. The universe responds when you no longer need the desire to feel whole. Wholeness is magnetic. When you are whole, you are not grasping. When you are not grasping, things move toward you. When you are chasing, things move away, not out of cruelty, but out of balance. Balance is restored through relaxation. You do not lose power by relaxing, you gain it. Tension scatters energy, relaxation concentrates it. Think of a lens. When it is unfocused, light spreads and weakens. When it is focused, light becomes powerful. Relaxation is focus without strain. Your inner world becomes coherent. No contradictions, no inner arguments, just a quiet agreement. Agreement with what? With the idea that life is working for you, that what you desire is allowed, that you are not late, that nothing is missing. The moment you accept that nothing is missing, everything starts appearing. You were taught to seek completion through achievement. But completion is a state you enter before achievement. Achievement simply reflects it. This is why forcing success often feels empty. It arrived, but the state never changed. Without the state, nothing satisfies. Change the state, and even small things feel rich. Relaxation changes your relationship with time. Time no longer feels like an enemy. It becomes irrelevant. When you are certain, time has no emotional charge. Impatience is a sign of inner resistance. Not wrong, just informative. It tells you that you are still negotiating internally. Stop negotiating. Decide. Decision is not effort. It is alignment. When you decide internally that something is yours, you stop revisiting the question. You don't keep asking yourself if it will happen. You move on mentally, and when you move on, it moves in. Life follows attention, but more importantly, it follows withdrawal of attention from doubt. You don't need to obsess over what you want. Obsession implies lack. Familiarity implies possession. Become familiar with the feeling of already having, not excited, not dramatic, familiar. The extraordinary becomes ordinary before it becomes visible. This is the law you have been using unconsciously your entire life. Every stable condition in your world began as an assumption you stopped questioning. You don't question gravity, so it holds you. You don't question your name, so it responds. You don't question your memories, so they remain consistent. Questioning dissolves. Acceptance solidifies. Accept what you want as normal. Normal things persist. If you catch yourself thinking, "This is too good to be true," understand that this thought is not protecting you. It is limiting you. The universe does not measure goodness. It measures agreement. What you agree with internally becomes lawful. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are at the mercy of your dominant state. And the good news is, a state can be entered instantly. You don't have to heal the past. The past only has power when you keep returning to its state. Step into a new state, and the past loses relevance. The universe does not ask for explanations. It responds to positions. Position yourself as someone who expects ease, not because you are special, but because ease is natural. Struggle is learned. Relaxation is remembered. How effortless it feels to daydream. How easily images arise when there is no pressure. That ease is the creative mode. Bring that ease into your assumption of reality. Let your inner scenes be soft, gentle. Real reality does not require force to change. It requires consistency of state. Consistency does not mean constant focus. It means returning to the same feeling when you remember. Every time you remember, return to calm certainty. Do not punish yourself for forgetting. Forgetting does not undo. Resistance does. Relaxation keeps the channel open. The universe does not respond to perfection. It responds to persistence of being. Be the version of you who trusts. Trust does not shout, trust rests. And in that rest, things shift quietly, invisibly, inevitably. So understand this now and let it settle deep within you. Your power was never in force, never in struggle, never in begging life to change. Your power has always been in who you agree to be when everything is quiet. The universe is not moved by your desperation, but it bows to your inner certainty. The moment you relax, you declare that you trust yourself, that you trust life, that you know what you have accepted cannot be denied. And from that moment, resistance collapses. Stop gripping the future with fear. Stop dragging the past into the present. Choose, instead, to rest in the assumption that life is unfolding in your favor right now, even if your eyes cannot yet confirm it. Relax not because you are giving up, but because you finally understand. You were never meant to struggle your way into fulfillment. You were meant to assume it, allow it, and let it reveal itself. When you relax, you are not losing control. You are stepping into your true authority. And from that state, everything you desire moves toward you naturally, effortlessly, inevitably.